You're watching the Randy Alvarez Market Report. I'm Randy Alvarez. Today's topic, increasing your production. With us, we have an expert on this topic. He's been consulting dentists for more than 25 years, Dr. Mac Lee. Dr. Lee, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Randy. It's good to be here.
Now, I guess you're best known for, one of the founders, pioneers of Dental Boot Camp.
That was 20 years ago, so people have to be a little bit older to recognize me. But yes, I was the co-founder of Dental Boot Camp. It was a great experience.
So the topic today is increasing production.
Yes.
You have a very large consulting business.
Yes.
So what do you want people to know about that?
What I want people to know is that the business model that we've operated under all these years is so antiquated. The doctor has to do everything. The doctor has to see the new patient. The doctor has to do the interview. The doctor has to do this, do that. Our business model is the team does everything. I should only do what I'm required to do legally and to build rapport with the patient. And most dentists think that the patients need to spend a lot of time with the dentist. Now, you and I know that's not true. It's the quality of time that they spend. So with my practice model, a new patient calls and all of the team members are highly trained on the phone to make that person very happy that they called and that they got the answers that they needed when they called, and they got an appointment for a complete exam or a consultation, however you want to put it. But here's the deal. I have a patient care coordinator. That's all she does is to see the new patients. She has her own column. She's in there with an hour with that patient. She's taken photos. She's built rapport. She knows about their family. She knows about why they're here. She knows what they want as the end result. So when she's ready to come get me, she has basically got a case acceptance. Let me give you an example.
Okay.
I walk in and Randy, you've got some missing teeth. All right? And Jolene will say, Dr. Lee, I want you to meet Randy Alvarez. We haven't met yet. Oh, I hear I can hear y'all talking here. You must have been having a good discussion. Oh, yeah, we've been talking about this and talking about that. Randy came here because, and he's got these missing teeth. And so you can see the pictures and up there on the monitor on the wall. And so, I mean, he's got a really good idea of what's going on. And I told him what his options are. That you could have bridges, implants, or something coming in and out, and the difference in the costs, basically. And kids in school, budget's a little tight, so Randy decided that he wants something that's comes in and out, just for economic standpoints.
All right.
Okay, how long does it take me now to seal the deal?
Not so long.
No. Now, I've been over there working on a patient for an hour while she has been talking and building rapport with this patient and finding out what the patient wants, what's standing in the way of what they're going to get. So it only makes sense to do it this way. If I saw 20 patients a month, new patients a month, and I had them for an hour on my books, and the patient walks in and they got 2 teeth and thank God they meet, what happened to my hour's worth of production?
Yeah, it's gone.
Right out the window. So where I live, we've got to kiss a lot of frogs. Not everybody needs a lot of work.
Okay.
Not everybody can afford the work. So why shouldn't I have a team member that does all that for me? I'm very highly qualified. Now everybody say, well, they can't diagnose. They're not diagnosing. All you got to do is go to Google, type in bone loss, and you will see all the x-rays that you want to see of bone loss. So if Google can do it, why can't my team educate my patients? Now,
so the dentists have to be able to pull themselves out of it a little bit.
It's hard to do.
And empower the team to be able to do more of the explanation.
That's right.
The education.
That's right.
And allow you to do it more of what you want to do.
I do not want to walk in that room and have to explain a dental situation. I want somebody else to do that for me.
Now, I should mention, I hate to cut in on this talk that you're having, but with the Wellness Hour, for the last 18 years, I go inside some of the most productive practices in America. Some 10 million, 8 million, one that does 30 million, right, with a group. And they do it this way. The highly productive practices, that's why when in the green room, when you told me this is how you do it, this is your mastery.
This is it.
So you don't have to be a big giant practice to do it this way.
That's right.
Is that correct?
Absolutely. So I mean, I got 3 team members.
So you teach this.
We teach this. We go in-house for 2 days and teach this.
So you teach their person as well.
We have to teach their people, and we also, I have a technique to give the doctor leadership. I hand over leadership to the doctor. So this may sound a little strong, but the purpose of a dental practice is to serve its owner. It doesn't have another purpose. So the team has to understand that this is a business.
Yeah.
And if they're going to be in this position, there are certain things that they have to do. Now, we do it in such a way, we smile and laugh and have a good time. Nobody ever gets mad. Nobody quits. We've been doing this way too long. We know exactly how to handle that team. Now, the other thing that I require is when I walk into the hygiene room, now, first of all, I'm with my assistant. Hygienist comes in. She gives the assistant the eye. The assistant looks up, looks at where we are, and then she'll give her 4, 5, 10. That tells the hygienist how many minutes it's going to be before I'm going to get up and go over there.
Okay.
I don't want to feel stressed when I'm working on this patient. And every dentist listening to me knows what I'm talking about. And when I walk in the room, we got monitors in the hygiene room. I want a photo of something of interest on that wall where I know that the hygienist has talked to the patient, has shown them a cracked tooth, has shown them this, shown them that, whatever it might be. I want that education process done before I walk in. And all I have to do is, as Teresa says, we've been talking, Mabel knows the tooth is cracked, and thinking about a crown, what do you think? I said, absolutely. And that should be all that I need to do. And that's what we teach. And we take people's income and it just exponentially goes straight up and gives the doctor more time to be more precise in what they're doing. We've been talking about TMD. Okay, so you're treating TMD, it takes a long time to deal with these patients. You've got to charge a lot of money. You can't shortchange them. So if your team is highly trained in every one of those procedures, that person feels like they're being taken care of no matter what department that they're in.
Yeah.
So it's a whole new outlook on the way, you've seen it, but the dentists that have not gone to a lot of continuing education or they've gone to a lot of continuing education, here's what happens. They go to a very exciting meeting. They come back all pumped up. And the team says, just wait. He'll be back. She'll be back the way that it used to be. And the other thing is they're so excited about these new procedures, but the patient hasn't been to the same seminar that the dentist has.
Yeah.
So the dentist is trying to sell a solution to a problem the patient doesn't even know that they have.
Okay.
You've been in sales for years and years and years.
Yeah.
You know that the more you educate and the more you involve the patient, the more questions that you ask. Jolene will have that patient look at that monitor and say, well, what do you see? And the patient says, is that my teeth? Well, they look, that one's cracked. Well, who made the diagnosis?
The patient.
Who's going to get mad when you say the tooth is cracked? There's no way that the patients feel like they're being sold to when they use the techniques that we use. Now at boot camp, it was different. We taught some pretty high pressure sales stuff. So if you want to know about high pressure, I can tell you.
You know how to do it.
I know how to do it,
And
but we don't do it.
So people, it doesn't have to be, it's not a pushy style, is what you're teaching.
Zero.
Okay.
Oh, and let me give you an example. So after you've been with Jolene for an hour and you've built rapport and you really like them, you laugh and you have a good time, you know that there's a problem up there. I'll say, Randy, okay, now I got to do my job. I agree with everything that Jolene says. I can see the pictures, I can see the cracks, but I've got to do my job and I've got to be very thorough because that's my job. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to have a look at every tooth in your mouth and all the other structures, and I'm going to be calling out things to Jolene that you may not understand. And then I'm going to set you up, and then she's going to know exactly what to tell you in layman's terms. And her job is to tell you in a way that you completely understand. And if you don't understand, you have to say, hey, Jolene, I don't understand.
All right.
Come on, what's the deal? Then once you completely understand and agree, guess what your job is?
What's that?
What?
What's that?
Your job is to decide what you're going to do.
Okay.
And the patient will
And
say,
she goes over the fees as well.
well, wait a minute.
Okay.
So the patient will say, well, it's my job to decide what to do. And I said, that's correct. Now, what you decide is basically none of my business because it's your teeth. You've taken, there's no sales. There's no sales in the process.
Very nice.
Okay, now, you ask a very good question. Here's what happens in most dental offices. The doctor comes in, says we need to do this. Staff looks up the fee, takes the chart up front, takes the patient up front, dumps the chart with the fee in there, and now here's the patient talking to a person who's not been involved in any of the transactions and saying, well, that's going to be $10,000. That's not going to work. So if you have a patient who has spent an hour with this patient, if a person has spent an hour with this patient, they have all this rapport, they understand everything that's going on, they want to get it done, and so Jolene gives them the fee, and she makes the appointments, she collects the money, everything is done through her. There is no transfer from one department to another department, because every time you transfer, you have a chance of breaking the chain. And that costs you money. So we are production creators. We come in to make your life a lot better and for you to
a lot easier on the dentist though as well, right?
Oh gosh, ask my clients.
Frees you up.
And I've got clients you can get on our website called productioncreators.com, and you got people you can call up there to ask them. They'll be glad to talk to you. It's a big deal to do this. It's fun. We have a great time. And here's an added benefit that I think you'd appreciate.
All right.
If you are a client of ours, then you are entitled to go to what we call Reboot every spring, because as you know in sales, you learn it and then you ask questions and you learn to ask questions and you learn to do this, and then that goes away with time.
So it includes the meetings.
So they have the Reboot that we come back to get everybody excited and pumped up again. So the more excited a team is, the more production you're going to have. You know that.
You know, a lot of dentists are perfectionists in certain ways. And so for the perfectionists, it must be tough to let go. Like, because they feel like, look, I got to do the whole thing. I got to spend an hour and a half with every patient. Because I hear that. They say, Randy, I mean, there's only so much time in the day. I spend an hour and a half with every patient. Not all of them say yes. So with your model, it allows a trained team member that's probably been in the business for 10, 15, 20, 30 years to be able to utilize what they know.
And guess what? The patients trust that team member. They build rapport with that team member.
They may even confide in them more than you sometimes.
Absolutely, 100%. So they don't think that the team is invested in making money off of the procedure where they think I'm making all the money off the procedure. So there's no downside of this except if your team is lazy and not willing to do the work.
So my guess is this, because look, as I'm running a business, as I let go and whenever I interview guys that are much more successful than me, they go, Randy, you got to take yourself out of it. Train people to do some of the stuff you're doing.
I would never guess you had that problem, Randy.
Yeah. So what I'm saying to you is, I'm sure that at the beginning, it's probably tough for them to handle releasing some of these consults to a trained member.
That's true, but you've been working with dentists long enough to know that there's some that are just dying to do this and they want to get it done. They want to get it done right now. And they have no qualms about it, but they just don't know how to train the team.
So you have a whole system. So this is a system.
It's a 100%.
Because it's a business philosophy.
That's right. That's right. And children don't listen to mom and daddy. And dental team don't listen to the doctor.
Okay.
Because they've trained the doctor as much as the doctor has trained the team.
Yeah, that's
so when you bring somebody in from the outside, that makes all the difference in the world.
Like a prophet in their own land.
Yes, they can't do it. I can't really do it with my team.
You could even say the same things that he's always saying at the meetings.
We hear it all the time.
That Dr. Lee, Mac Lee's a genius. And he's going,
I've been saying this all the time. But we have an absolute system from the time the patient hears about you, like marketing. Okay, so really a dental office is very simple. You market to get them to call. Then they call to get them in. Then you get them to say yes. You get them to pay, and then you move them through treatment as fast as possible, and you put them on recall. I mean, that's all there is to it. But you've got to have a refined system to make it flow perfectly.
So what's the transition time to get somebody up and running? Somebody that says, okay, I'd love to take some of the time away from me and empower an employee.
When you get the team excited, okay, especially like the hygienist, that's where the low-hanging fruit is. I mean, how many outstanding treatment plans does every dental office have? You know, they come through hygiene, no, I'm not going to get that done. When the hygienists do it the way we do it, the increase in income can be and should be immediate. Also give them a jump drive of the PowerPoint presentation with all the videos, and you've seen some of my videos.
Yeah,
you
they're
know
powerful.
How powerful they are. All the videos, all of these things. If they will study that, if they will have their team meetings, then their income increase should be exponential, and it can be do it in a very short period of time. So they can pay for our trip in a week, they can pay for it in a day. If they work really hard at it, they will triple, double what they're making within a month or two.
And everybody needs a coach.
Everybody needs a coach.
And you've been around for a long time. I mean, when I talk to most dentists, they know who you are. I bring up dental boot camp. I mean, they know who you are. So you've seen a lot of changes. Have you refined this over the years? Obviously, it's getting better and better and better.
Yes, boot camp was way too much sales, and it turned patients off. And when a patient feels like they've been sold to, they may make that 3-hour appointment and never show up, never call you because they're really upset about it. It ruins your reputation in town. But when you are really taking care of people and you are really educating, my whole goal, Randy, is to educate you to where you understand it the way I understand it.
Okay.
And I got something to say to the dentist, and they know this to be true. If patients understood what we understood, they would get the work done if they cared about their health. It's as simple as that. So the whole goal is how to educate that patient and the patient's terminology and the way the patient thinks till they say, wow, nobody has ever told me that. That is really something.
That's good.
Absolutely.
This has got to be a big boost for the employees.
It's a very,
team.
very big boost for the team as a group and the dentist that sees things in a whole new light.
So if somebody's watching this and they want to get involved in your training,
well,
what's the best way to get
started? The best thing
started?
is just get in contact with me with my email account, and that's drmackley@gmail.com. Real simple to get a hold of us. We also have our telephone numbers listed on productioncreators.com, and there they can find other dentists that will be giving their testimonials and other dentists that they could call if they want to call them before they call me, because I don't blame them. I do my research too.
All right. Well, I want to thank you for coming on our report, and always a pleasure.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thanks.